Welcome to the Asylum. This is our first official episode podcast for Arkham Asylum Comics and Toys. My name is Marco. I'm the owner, and I have one of my buddies and employee here,
Co-host.
co-host, Andrew.
Yep.
And I'm Joe.
So we're gonna kick it off today. Basically, the first episode, I guess we're going to give you a little bit of a backstory of how we came to be. Arkham Asylum Comics came to be from another store I used to own called Gotham City Pizza. Quite a few people in the area would know it. It got actually nationally recognized. It was in PMQ magazine, which is a big deal in the pizza industry.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So Gotham City Pizza was just an idea I had that I always wanted to do, and basically incorporate a pizza place with, comic books, toys, basically the superhero genre. And we did it, and it was a huge success, huge hit. We had quite a few people in and out of that place. We had a lot of artists. Ethan Van Sciver, famous for Green Lantern, Flash, Batman, came with his family. Billy Tucci, people from Rick and Morty, Jay and Silent Bob. Quite a few people came in and out of there. And it was a great concept, great idea. And then somebody came in and pretty much gave me a deal I couldn't refuse. I sold it. Thinking back, kind of regret it now. Maybe do it again in the future, but with that, I got met a lot of people, made a lot of friends in the industry, and decided to move on to the comic book store.
So why do you wish that you didn't do that?
Well, looking back on it now, I think I could have grew the business a lot more, and the person that actually purchased. Pretty much ran it down to the ground within 6 months after buying it, and to this day I still get people come up to me and be like, why did you sell it? Why did you sell it? You know what I mean? So I miss it.
Yeah, because that's where I met you.
Right.
I met you at the pizza shop,
Right.
and I'm pretty sure I've came up, was like, why did you sell it? Because we used to do trivia. What do we used to do there, like on Thursday nights or something?
Yeah, trivia. We had trivia.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I was going up there on Thursday nights, and the pizza was good. I
it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, right? No, it was a lot of fun. Like the pizza, like options that you had there, like after named it for like superheroes and comic books, which was really cool, and they were different. Like I think one of your pizzas had like French fries and like
the Joker.
Yeah, man,
that's funny.
It was really
French
good.
fries, bacon, ranch.
I love that pizza.
It was like all the items on the menu were named after not superheroes, but aliases that we could get away with. Like
cool.
I think the cheese pizza was named the Boy Wonder.
Mhm.
I think we had a Merc with a Mouth was like our margarita pizza.
Mhm.
We had God, there was so many.
Yeah.
Wolverine. Yeah, we had the Infinity Gauntlet challenge.
Yep. And did someone famous come out there and do it?
Yeah, Randy Santel, who's a world famous eater, competitive eater, came there and did it live on his channel. It's a 3-foot stromboli.
Wow.
You have 30 minutes to eat it.
Holy
And
moly.
if you eat it, you get it for free. You get a shirt, and then you get a caricature on the wall.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How long did it take him to finish it? Do you remember?
13 minutes. Still, you can
Wow.
find it on YouTube.
Yeah, to watch those people eat.
13 minutes.
They have like a method to it in the way
It's
they
crazy.
do it.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
And the guy he brought with him did it in 8.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
He doesn't even have a
His
YouTube
coach.
channel. He doesn't even have a channel.
I think he does.
Does
I
he?
think he does, but he's not as big as Randy. Randy's done I think like 700 challenges
Yeah,
worldwide.
I think I know who that is. He's the white guy that he does
Yes.
this?
Yep.
Oh,
Randy
wow, that's
Santel.
cool.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy.
Yep. He came there. Yep.
So what made you start the transition? Obviously you had an offer that you couldn't refuse over there, right?
Yeah.
And you came over here. How'd this start? How did the comic book shop start?
I've been into comics since 1984. I remember the first comic I bought off the shelf with my father. I hoard that comic, so anytime I see it, I buy it. Now it's a little expensive, but
You can tell us which one it is?
it's Amazing Spider-Man 238. So
How are you gonna go ahead and like
Yeah,
tell us
yeah.
the story? Not tell us what it was.
I'm sure he was going to bring it up.
it's a Hobgoblin issue. People that are listening to this into comics, they'll know exactly. So I love the book to this day. I have 38 copies of it.
38 copies.
38
Okay, cool.
copies. And if they ever introduce him into the movies, I'm gonna
The
retire.
Hobgoblin?
Yeah.
Didn't they do that?
No, just the Green Goblin. He hasn't. But
Oh, okay.
there's speculation that he's gonna be in the next movie. If he is, oh man, I'm sitting on a gold mine.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, because it's already an expensive book.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so me and my cousins, who I'm sure at some point in time will be on the podcast, we were all into comics, baseball cards, toys.
was
We
the
used to
era.
fight over everything. So I collected since 1984. We all did. And then I actually, one of my cousins, who I don't talk to anymore from New York, his name was Fabio, not the model.
Not the
His
model?
name was Fabio. I mean, we're Sicilian, so a lot of
Yeah.
Italian. So he's from New York, and he used to, they used to visit. And when I was younger, I was probably 8 years old. He used to come, and I used to look up to him. And he used to, he got me into basically the superheroes. And he used to come, and he used to sit at the table, and he used to draw. And I used to be in awe of him. I'm like, I got to do this. I got to be like him. So then I started drawing. Started from tracing, then started drawing from other things. So then, I loved it. And then I went to school in Fort Lauderdale, to college, to the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale, and got my degree, my associates in art. Never did anything with it, but I always still like to draw. And it all goes hand in hand with the comic books,
Yeah.
But crazy thing is, I was in Fort Lauderdale, so I used to commute like every few months, come back, stay for 3 days home, go back. I had a place where I had 3 roommates when I first got to college, and I took my entire comic book collection with me to college. So
Bad idea.
exactly, you know where this is going.
Yeah.
So one day I came back from Christmas break, and I go into my room, and I'm looking around, can't find my comics anywhere. And I had probably 4 long boxes of comics, which is a lot when you're
Yeah.
19 years old.
And it's hard to carry it around unnoticed too. Like
Right.
if they were, leaving the crime scene. Or
Well, I
whatever.
mean,
But
they
there
had
weren't many
all
cameras
Christmas,
back then either. So.
but they had Jesus, I'm not that old, but
No, I'm just saying, like all around the dorm. or-
but the Christmas break is 2 weeks. I was gone for
Yeah.
2 weeks, so they were gone.
Oh
No,
my
none of my
gosh.
roommates knew where they were, and it's possible they didn't take. But we had parties there
Yeah.
all the time, so that actually got me out of collecting for about 10 years.
Really?
Oh
big
yeah,
turnoff.
I was so upset, and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm done. And then I came back, and then picked it up again little by little, and then one thing led to another, and then opened the store with my collection pretty much, and my partner, who we're still friends, but I bought him out. His name's Ed, but his collection too, and we started the shop, and everything's been great. We expanded to now we have the comic shop, which is all comics, and right next door, where we're sitting at right now, in the plush studios of
Mhm.
Arkham Asylum, is a toy shop and card shop, which we have a lot of vintage toys, everything around here.
Oh yeah, when people come, I always tell them, no matter how old you are, we got everything from the maybe 60s, 70s, all the way up to now. So no matter what your age, you get to come here and take a trip down memory lane and see a toy that you wanted when you were a kid that might not have been able to afford, and you can come get it here.
Right. And Andrew's actually he started off as a customer. He's a
Yep. Lorcana. So Lorcana's a new Disney game that recently came out. To all our listeners that potentially in the future might want to play Lorcana, we might start a stream here
Right.
potentially in the
Mhm.
future. But yeah, came here, started playing Lorcana, loved the store, loved the atmosphere, and that was a few months ago. Now I work here.
Yeah, and he's a big Pokemon guy.
Oh,
so
yeah,
he
huge
knows,
into
he knows
Pokemon.
everything about Pokemon, which helps me out a lot. 'Cause
Yep, I'm the Pokemon guy.
I'm very new to that.
So we have the Pokemon guy, right? And we have the
Yeah.
comic guy, right?
Yep.
And I can be the Disney, the Disney guy, I guess you can say, because
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I know a whole bunch about going to the parks. I know all the secrets. I know the places where you can go eat. I know the places where you can kind of get the cheaper meals for.
Yeah, that's cool.
We can go get refills with your drinks because you don't get refills
Yeah.
everywhere at Disney.
No,
There's only
no.
certain restaurants,
yeah.
that you can
I've
go
seen
get
whole
the free
Facebook
refills.
pages dedicated to getting discounts at Disney because it's so expensive that people like you know the little nicks and tricks to, over the span of a week, you probably save $1,000.
Yeah,
If
for
you
sure,
go there with your
100%.
family, it could be ridiculously expensive.
It's very expensive to go to Disney as a family.
Yeah, for sure. So I can be that guy. I can be that Disney guy. So
Yeah, and then, and the goal for this podcast is every we're gonna do it every couple weeks.
Yep.
And we're gonna pick certain topics every couple weeks that are current events that are going on, whether it's in the movie industry, comic books, the Disney Lorcana, Pokemon, toys, whatever.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
No politics or religion just yet.
Nah.
Maybe something down the line. We don't.
Also,
No.
we over here at Arkham, we also we get a lot of celebrities, artists, voice actors. We do events constantly. So my plan is anytime we do have that event, we're definitely going to do a podcast while they're here, because why not?
Yep.
Yeah.
Take advantage of
Got
it.
the Christmas Story cast coming in several weeks from now.
So far, I mean, it's just a year now that we've been here, and we've had the voice actors from Dragon Ball Z. We've had a couple actors from Friday the 13th. One of the actors from The Terrifier. We had Bam Margera here for 2 days.
Oh, that was awesome. Did you see he just sprained? He just got a bad...
Tore his ACL,
yeah.
But he was really awesome for 2 days. And I mean, I can go on about the stories he told me. Is crazy.
Yeah,
He's
can't
like, I could tell
imagine.
you stuff nobody knows, like
Yeah.
besides people close to me. And he did, which was awesome. And he's going to be back.
So can you tell us a little bit more about that? Like, not the stories, but like, what did you do? What kind of event did you hold here at the shop? Because you said you were talking about like what you did with him, right?
Yeah.
But did some of your customers have some type of like opportunity to kind of earn some time with him?
So what was cool is, we're a little shop. Nobody needs a comic book shop. So you kind of depend on your customers and stuff. It's not like, for instance, like pizza. Pizza, I'm not gonna say it's a necessity, but pizza is definitely more of a necessity than a comic book. So it's like when you have a pizza shop, you're going to have constant customers, especially if you have a good product. Where a comic book, you kind of got to grab the attention of people.
Yep.
You got to make it
Take
a
care
good
of your regulars.
environment.
Yeah, you want to treat your regulars good.
Right. You got to have a niche too, because there's comic book stores. There's plenty around. So you got to be different. And even in any business, pizza, especially pizza too, because there's pizza places on every corner. You got to be different. You got to have something different.
You gotta have like a pizza place with like mixed in with the comic book shop,
Right.
almost, right?
Like
Well,
what he was
that's
thinking.
that's what I'd like to do at some point. But so because of the acquaintances and the people I've met through the pizza place, I was able to transition that into other places to meet celebrities, agents, and I utilized it.
Yeah.
So when I had Bam here, my first idea was, okay, so I have to offset my costs. You know what I mean? I have to offset everything because it wasn't free.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what I did was, I went here. I said, hey, how would you like to have Bam? So Bronx House Pizza, where I used to work, actually, I reached out to them and I said, hey, I can have Bam Margera at your restaurant one night and I can promote it. You know what I mean? Just cover. I'm gonna do a VIP event, cover the VIP, the food, and I'll bring them, and they were like, we're on board, let's do it. So that was one of my things I did. I was like, hey, I'm gonna do a VIP event on Saturday, dinner at Bronx, pizza party with Bam Margera. His agent was down, Bam was down. We did that. And then I'm like, okay, these guys need a place to stay too, So then we reached out to Streamline Hotel, great hotel. Jeremy over there is a great guy.
Oh wow.
And I was like, hey, listen, Bam has agreed to, if you would like to have him here, he would do, because they have like a comedy thing there. And he's like, Bam has agreed to do 20, 25 minutes. He's not going to do stand-up comedy, but he could tell you a lot of funny stories.
That's cool.
He's like, he can do it for 25 minutes. All you got to do. He's like, what do you need from us? They wanted him. Cover his and his agent's hotels. That's all I need from you. I'm like, all right, because Bam was already driving here. So basically it was gas and that was it. So now everything was covered pretty much. So Bam was here for 2 days. And then we did a VIP for the Streamline also that paid for everything. They get to keep the alcohol sales. We kept the VIP sales. And that included dinner and meet and greet with Bam.
So you got to do that for your customers, pretty much.
We
right?
did
Which is
that
kinda
for,
cool.
yeah. We advertised it. A lot of people jumped on it because when are you going to sit down and have,
Yeah, right.
dinner with Bam, take a picture with Bam, get an autograph.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So when he was here, he was really cool. It was actually crazy because in the middle of the, he was like, he was here from like 12 to 5. So like 2:30, he wanted to take a half-hour break. It's fine. So what he did is he went to the skate park, the local skate park,
Mm-hmm.
and he
Wow.
went
cool,
skating
right?
for a
That's
half
cool.
hour.
Wow.
And there were kids there, obviously,
Yeah.
and
God,
they're
they
just
must have went
looking like,
crazy.
oh my god.
Because some of the younger kids might not know him, but he's such a what the word I'm looking for, like an idol in the skateboarding community.
Yeah, he's
really good.
But the
He's
crazy
really
thing
good.
is like no matter how young you are in the skateboarding community, they know who Bam Margera is.
Yeah,
because
'cause
Bam
he's like an
Margera's
idol.
always
He's
been
like
a
an idol.
skateboarder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His best friend is Tony Hawk. You know what I mean?
Wow, look at that.
So the kids were like, "Are you kidding me? This
Yeah, that's
guy's
crazy.
here right now?" So I mean, he was posting on social media the whole time he was there, and like 15 kids with him. I'm taking pictures. It was awesome, man. He was a really good guy, really good guy, and that was fun. And then we had an event with Kevin Nash, too, the wrestler. He came to a Comic-Con with us. He helped us out a lot. He was awesome.
Yeah, he's
know?
actually a local, right? He's
Yeah,
not
he's
too
a
far
local.
from here, so
Yeah,
probably get him back
he's
soon.
over in Ponce Inlet.
I used to clean his pool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I used to clean his
He's
pool.
very
funny.
intimidating. He's a nice guy, but
Yeah,
he's
he's a
extremely
beast.
intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
know?
he's big. He's huge.
He doesn't smile much. So yeah, we're doing. And then like Andrew said, we're planning a pretty big event here in December. We're gonna have 6 of the original cast members to the Christmas Story
Mm-hmm.
that are gonna be here doing a meet and greet, and then we're doing a big dinner and stuff like that, autograph session, and that's gonna be 2 days too. It's the December. The dates I believe are December 7th and 8th.
Yeah,
We're
that
doing
makes
that.
sense. You do it more towards Christmas, obviously in the spirit, the Christmas
Yeah,
spirit.
yeah. And then a couple weeks ago we had Peter Raimundo here.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the lead animator for Lilo and Stitch
Oh, get out of here!
from
Really?
the movie, and he was here signing Lorcana cards, doing sketches, and he was really cool. And he
Yeah.
ended up making it a 2-day event. It was only 1 day and 2
Yeah.
day, and he had so much fun. He couldn't
Yeah.
wait to. He can't wait to come back.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome. So we're be like promoting these things that are happening here at the comic book shop, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully we can get some of these people on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the goal for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's going to actually be one of my stipulations. I'm
Yeah.
like, I want you to stay. You have to do a podcast too. You know what I mean?
And we got to get some video footage because this store is just so amazing.
It
when
is.
comes
It
to
is
all
amazing.
the toys and the nostalgia of this store is like it's very rare to run into a store like this. Like you have comic shops, you have toy stores, you have card stores, but this one is a very unique mixture of the three. you know?
Yeah, yeah. And that's the goal. I mean, we're definitely going to move towards video at some point.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah. As soon as we work out all the kinks and everything,
Yeah, slow and
Because
steady.
it would be
like I
cool
always
if we
say.
have celebrities and actually see them on video. That would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
you
Yeah.
know?
and just to see the products in the store, people will be like, "Wow, that's really cool nostalgia."
Yeah. So the next event we got coming is we have one of the Lorcana artists is going to be here
Okay.
the day after the release of the 4th installment of Lorcana.
Ooh, that's perfect.
What do you
yeah.
know the date of that?
I think it's May 17th. If it's not the 17th, it's the 18th. It's the day after the release of our next installment of Lorcana. So he's going to be here signing autographs, and he's worked on quite a few cards. So
Mhm.
he actually did the work on the Hades Enchanted card.
Okay.
So we got to try and get a hold of that one to
Oh,
get
yeah.
a sketch on
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
You
You gotta
know,
grab a
it's
few
not
of
going to be
those.
cheap, but
Yeah.
And don't you guys do events here like every Thursday for Lorcana? How's that working?
yeah, we do Thursday night, actually pretty much Wednesdays and Thursdays. Wednesdays a lot of free play. People come and practice, they play with their friends, because what we do is we have a league night, and that's basically our league night.
Is it on
For-
Wednesdays or Thursdays?
Wednesday's actually like the league night. So
Okay.
because what we do, we're an organized play store
Okay.
for Ravensburger and Lorcana. So they send us special merchandise to run events.
Okay.
So when people come and they do free play, they gain points. When you
Mhm.
gain a certain amount of points, you get a promo card or you get a pin and multiple other things that they send. So you achieve that by coming in just to play.
Mhm.
For every time you win, you get 2 points. You lose, you get a point. So that's Wednesdays or any other day during the week. If
Yeah,
they
I was
come
gonna
in
I
and
was
do
gonna
it.
interrupt you there and say, Arkham is one of the only Lorcana stores where you can come on a casual day with a friend of yours and actually gain points on any given day of the week, and accumulate that to get your promos. Other stores they would have one day and you got to go on that day to accumulate points. But what's unique with Arkham, you can come here any day, play casually, and you'll still get some points.
Right. And then Thursdays is our tournament night where I mean, if you come early, you can still get points. But once we do the tournament, it's like, depending on how many people, we actually vote on what they want to do. Like you would do it for like sometimes a box, a booster
Mhm.
box, or a trove, or but a lot of prizes. You know what I mean? Support for having the tournaments and stuff. So we're trying to grow that also because it's not that big in this area, but we're trying to grow it.
Yeah. It takes a minute.
Yeah.
So Andrew, how about tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, yeah. So I basically got back into Pokemon back in 2007. I mean, I grew up on Pokemon, loved it to death. But 2017, I was watching that show Porn Stars,
Uh-huh.
and the guy who's famous now in the Pokemon industry has probably the biggest collection and most expensive collection in the world. He went on that show with a ton of Charizards.
Okay.
And I ended up finding out afterwards he actually didn't have any intention of selling the collection. It was more just for clout and the Pokemon community, and it worked because people like me watched the show, immediately got back into Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I bought my first PSA 10, it was a first edition Onyx for $30 on eBay. That card today is probably like $400. So in 2017 was a good time to get back in. That episode of Porn Stars really got me back into Pokemon and, buying and selling. Fast forward, the pandemic hit. I had a fairly large collection, and then staying at home, collecting unemployment. We ended up having a ton of money, and it was like, it's now or never. We were in the Bronx. My daughter was 5 at the time, and we have a lot of family in Florida. So say, hey, let's pack the bags and go down to Florida, start a new life. And here we are. Came here about 2 years ago. Ironically, Hurricane Ian hit 2 months after I got here.
How was
And
that? How was your first hurricane experience?
horrible.
Oh, it was horrible, yeah, to say the least. I couldn't sleep the first night, 75-mile-an-hour winds. I thought the windows were going to break. Then the water started coming into my house.
Oh, it's not
yeah,
good.
I was actually trapped in my house for about 2 days with no electricity. To leave my apartment complex, I left once to get water, and it was about 4.5 feet of water. So
Oh my
I could have
gosh.
swam to the gas station. And so then thank God for FEMA. They cut us a nice big check, put us in a hotel for 8 months. They fixed up my apartment, got back in there a few months ago. And then, I heard about Lorcana. I always wanted to play Pokemon, but it was a little rough to learn. I saw Lorcana was coming out, and a lot of people said it would be an easier game to learn how to play. Started learning how to play, became very addicted, like Marco, the owner here. He got just as addicted as me, and we hit it off. I loved the store, started coming in, and now I'm a part-time employee.
The rest
Awesome.
is history.
Cool,
the rest
yeah,
is
that's
history.
cool. And Lorcana is definitely like I feel like a little easier to pick up than some
Oh,
of the other card
much
games.
easier. I mean, it's similar to Magic, but it's simplified.
Yeah, that's like
know?
one of the games I've tried to get into so many different times is
Me
Magic.
too.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
tried
like
playing
so
it,
much,
and
so
first
much.
time I played it, I stopped. I'm like, I can't do this.
There's
Yeah.
just so much going on,
Yeah.
right? And so
Yeah.
Lorcana is definitely easier than I feel
yeah.
like easier to pick up
Yeah.
because it's more based towards kids, younger kids, and also like adults, like
Yeah.
because it still has that strategic type of.
Oh, it's getting
know,
it's getting a lot more complicated as the new sets come out.
Uh-huh.
But it's still manageable. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Even for people like me or Andrew, when they introduced the whole lands in this new one,
Yeah.
it was like, I mean, it opened my eyes. I'm like, oh my god, how are we going to do this?
Yeah.
We're not
But
as good as we thought we were.
but once
there's
you
a lot
sit
to learn.
down and start playing it, it's easy.
Yeah,
you
you
know
pick
what I
up.
mean? Yeah.
Would you say like the first set? If I had to have a deck from the first set, am I able to play?
No.
No, not anymore.
No.
You have to have
Yeah,
some
you
cards
will.
in there.
You'll
You
get
You want to
demolished.
update it. Yeah, with every set, you
Okay.
kind of want to update your deck because new things are coming out. And like, for example, the second set, there might be a card that interacts with a card from the first
Okay.
set. So, you want to kind of do that. But yeah, you definitely, if you want to be up to par where you're competitive, you definitely want to
Yeah,
change your
it's definitely
deck.
a little bit of each series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could still have a strong deck from, the first chapter, don't get me wrong. But if you want to be at the top tier of the competitive level.
I don't think you can put a deck together without lands now that can compete with the decks with the lands.
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible. Like
Yeah.
the lands, there's too much. The lands do too much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting thing with Lorcana too, there's so many different characters that do so many different things. People come up with new ways to do different things all the time, and as long as somebody wins a big tournament with a certain deck, the whole community will change and start focusing on what that guy was
Right.
doing differently. Because there's so many different cards that interact, so
Yeah.
many different things you can do.
We're seeing a lot more different decks now. Now that the third set has come out, instead of constantly the same decks going against each other,
Mm-hmm.
because we only have 2 sets to work with. There's only so many cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But now it's like, and when the next set comes out, it's going to be even, a lot more different decks you're going to see. No one's going to have 2 of the same decks or anything like that. So I'm actually looking forward to stuff like that.
Yeah, it's fun. It keeps energy into the game.
Favorite card, Marco.
That's a good one.
My favorite cards.
Be prepared, bro.
I,
Get out of
I
here.
think he took the words right out of my mouth. I play a control deck, so
Yeah.
I'm red. I'm ruby amethyst. So yeah, I would have to say my. Let me think. My favorite card right now.
Let's go with favorite character and favorite item
Ooh, how about
because it's two pretty different
Yeah,
things.
so Be
there.
Prepared is my definite favorite item / song card.
Yeah.
As far as character card right now in my deck, I would have to say, wow, that's a tough one because I really don't have a lot of big characters in my deck.
Yeah.
But I guess Ursula, the Amethyst Ursula.
Maybe I would say probably the GOAT for your deck.
The
It's
GOAT is
probably
good
GOAT,
too.
or even Elsa. You don't play Elsa anymore.
I don't play
but
Elsa.
There was so
anymore.
many games where I was way ahead, and then you would just Elsa me, and then Elsa
Yeah.
me again, and then just completely take control.
But yeah, I would have to say right now. I would have to say, no, actually, you know what? What's his name is my favorite. What's the 5-drop red?
Maui?
No, the one that comes with the land. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Jim Hawkins.
Jim Hawkins. That's
Yeah,
my
he's
new
broken.
favorite card.
Yeah.
Jim Hawkins. He's a ruby card.
For me, it's tough. I mean, I have to go back with set one. I think Tinkerbell for the character.
And you
man.
still use her.
Yeah,
in your
because the
deck,
fact
yeah.
that you can, if you shift her, deal 1 damage to each character, then you can kill another character and shift 2 damage to a third
somebody else,
character.
yeah.
You can potentially kill 3 characters just by bringing her out.
Or more if you only
Yeah.
have a bunch of people that
Yeah.
only have one
Probably
one
have
damage.
to go with Tinkerbell. And then, Cinderella, the 7-drop, she's just so damn strong. It's almost impossible to kill her by
Right.
attacking her.
Hmm.
You have to banish her somehow or gang up on her. So she would probably be my number 2. And for item cards, I don't know, maybe go with a whole new world, but
Yeah.
I feel like that's a
definitely-
generic. I feel like that's a generic answer.
Well, so is Be Prepared.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I was gonna say be prepared because I played a little bit, at the very beginning when
Yeah.
when it was like really.
You use Grab Your Swords a lot too.
Yeah, Grab Your Swords is another item card. That was broken. I mean, when set 1 just came out, Ariel with Grab Your Swords was like
Yeah.
considered broken.
Hmm.
Now there's a lot of ways to not really get around it, but it's not as broken as it used to be.
Yeah.
Why is it not as broken as it used to be?
I guess so many cards that came out that can
That are
contradict it.
stronger,
Now they
too.
have and some cards have resist now. So
Yeah.
in the first set there was no resist. So if a character like Cinderella, speaking of her, she has resist 2. So if you were to attack her, anything you attack her with is -2.
Mhm.
So Grab Your Swords is an item card that deals 2 damage to each
0
character.
damage to her.
So 0 damage to her, and there's certain islands that if characters are on that island, they also gain resist. So that would be another -1 damage.
Right.
So it's not as strong as it used to be because people, when there's a card that's broken, Lorcana, they try to kind of come out with something to kind of fix it. Like Be Prepared, they just came out with Bare Necessities, but that's only in.
What's that do?
Amber.
Basically, I get to look at your hand and discard a song of my
Oh,
choice. Actually,
really?
Ursula
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Ursula does it too. The 2-drop. Now that I think of it,
Yeah.
the green.
Hmm.
So that's kind of a way because there's so many games I'm playing him when I'm far ahead. If he doesn't have Be Prepared, I win guaranteed. And then he just Be Prepared, wipe my board.
You have 4 of those bad boys in
yeah,
there,
now
right?
you have
Oh,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, you have to. It's mandatory. It's
Yeah.
mandatory. But now there's different ways to contradict Be Prepared, which is good. You got 2 different cards where he would have to expose his hand, and then I get to choose and discard a card, which obviously I would be going for Be Prepared. Or it should benefits me to where I can see his hand and see, okay, he doesn't have Be Prepared.
Right.
So
Mhm.
now I can play accordingly, knowing
You're like 2
he's-
steps ahead. If
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
see
yeah.
somebody's hand, you're 2
you're
steps
2
ahead.
steps ahead.
Yep.
But there's a lot for Be Prepared now in the green because it's a big discard deck, and I've played a lot of amber green decks that have made me discard my entire hand. I'm top decking
Mhm.
like halfway through
Yeah.
the game, and you can't win if you're top decking.
No.
Yeah, it's tough. It is tough. But, you're great at top decking. You're
Like
I just did
You're a
earlier.
professional top decker.
Like earlier.
You and Pierre. Shout out to Pierre.
Yeah.
But how about you? Tell us about yourself. How did you get
Yeah,
into like
Joe.
the whole digital and
So
did you go to school? Or?
Well, I mean, yeah, I did. So, like in my high school, there was like a TV production class, and I loved that. It took like all 4 years. I was really into TV production. We used to do live like news in the morning, and really got me into this, editing and putting video together, putting audio together, doing all of it.
It's a good profession to have
Yeah.
at this day and age.
Yeah, but I'm not. I don't even do this as a living. Like
Yeah,
this is not my
it's
job.
yeah.
I'm a teacher. I teach 6th grade science. I taught
Oh, that's
elementary
awesome.
school for like 12 years. But right now I moved to virtual learning, so I'm a virtual teacher, which I still kind of
Oh,
get
that's
that because
cool.
I love like technology. The technology, love it. Like it's like one of my favorite things. I'm a gamer. I used to host a really popular Disney podcast. If you search top 100 Disney podcasts, they're number 6 right now on the list that must listen to.
Nice.
It's called the Diz His. I was on there 400 something episodes, I believe. You know,
Wow.
it's a really good show. I'm no longer on that show, and I know I met Marco. We've kind of been talking about doing this for a while. I love comics. I love Marvel.
Yeah.
You know, I love video
Yeah.
games. I love Star Wars. I love Disney.
Disney, yeah.
Like, you know, I'm your Disney guy. If anyone has any questions, reach out to us like on social media.
Mhm.
You know, I would love to answer your Disney questions. So I'm just looking to have fun, you know, talk about toys. I love toys.
Yeah,
I mean, you
yeah.
walk in the shop, and like Andrew
Yeah.
was saying, it's like
like
memory lane,
Yeah,
right?
it's a trip down memory
So
lane.
I remember having, is that the He-Man castle?
That
you-
is Castle Grayskull.
Yeah, man. Like I had that growing up. Like I remember having all those toys. Like growing up, you know, I had all like the Thundercat like figures.
Oh, yeah, me
you know,
too.
I had all the wrestling. I don't have them anymore. I wish
Yeah.
there'd be so much money
Oh,
right
yes.
now. But I had like all the wrestling like figures. You know, I remember just playing for hours. You know, with my Hulk Hogan and you know Steamboat, Ricky the Steamboat, like you know figures and have them all like doing like a Royal Rumble and doing all. So coming in here, it's like memory lane for sure.
Oh yeah, I love it. I mean, I come to work happy, smiling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can't say that for everything. So.
Yeah. We were
Yeah.
talking about doing some type of like segment in the future called like the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes. Yes.
Kind of talking about like what we did in the week, like in like you know comic book, but
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yes, and movies, you know, video games.
Right.
So the Oscars they were on a couple nights ago, and Al Pacino, he was announcing. You heard about this?
Yeah, he forgot to say the names.
Yeah,
Like,
like usually when you come out, you
Yeah.
hit Best Picture,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're supposed to like do like the nominees,
Yeah,
and say
the
all
nominees.
the names of like the
Yeah.
pictures that are nominated for Best Picture.
Right.
He was just like opened up the envelope, and he's like, "I see Oppenheimer."
What?
he
Yeah,
just
and that
picked
was it.
the-
And, they were, and like everyone was kind of like, "What?"
So he announced the winner without announcing the nominees.
Yeah.
so-
Wow.
And he just came out with a statement today saying that he did it on purpose. That's what they wanted him to do, but
What?
I'm not sure if that's true. or
Nah,
not.
that's a lie.
Yeah, yeah.
That
I mean,
almost
did you
remind-
watch it? Did it look like it was scripted, or did it?
No,
look like...
no, he looked like he was just confused. I didn't watch the
He's
whole.
old as
I
hell
didn't
now.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he
didn't-
just had a kid, but he's old as
yeah,
hell.
man, I saw that. Him like Robert De Niro, like he was talking with him, like Al Pacino,
Yeah.
saying how it is being like a father when it's like
At
they're like
what?
80
How old is
or
he?
like,
Yeah,
they're old.
87,
They're old.
70 probably.
No, he's more than
Oh
70.
yeah, I
He's
think
gotta
they're pretty
be.
old. It's just crazy, you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing. I saw that like I saw that like
Yeah.
in my news section, and I watched that clip. I watched it, you
Wow,
know.
yeah.
That's kind of
The
funny.
highlight of my week was I watched the UFC fight.
Okay.
I love watching MMA and stuff, but I watched the UFC fight on Saturday, which was amazing.
I mean,
Yeah.
Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. That's
What do you guys think
that's a
about that?
laugh, Huh?
Which one? The Jake Paul, Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up. I mean,
I mean, me and him have different views on it.
yeah, I mean, but look at the odds. A friend of mine, if you bet on Jake Paul, he's 3.5 to 1, meaning he's a 3.5 to 1 favorite.
That's crazy.
You have to bet $100. No, you have to bet $350 if you want to win 100.
Right. Yes.
And it's the opposite with Mike Tyson.
Right.
So a lot of people like yourself, and even myself, we grew up loving Mike Tyson, but gotta understand, there's almost a 30. What is he? 60? It's like
He's 58.
and Jake Paul's probably 28 in his prime.
Right.
And Jake Paul, he's mostly known as a YouTuber, but
He can box.
He can box.
he can
He's a
box. Not Mike
boxer.
Tyson now.
He's a
can box.
boxer, but he's not a professional
Yeah, exactly.
boxer.
He's not
He
like
got his ass
he's
kicked
not an
by the only
amazing
professional
boxer,
boxer.
but he'll kick every YouTuber's ass.
Yeah,
you know
or
what I mean?
MMA
Like,
fighter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So my money's on Jake Paul just because of the age difference, and Jake Paul's not stupid. He's not gonna be in Mike Tyson's face. He's probably gonna play him by far.
here's what I'm.
He's a lot
thinking.
bigger,
Here's what I'm thinking.
taller.
If I was a betting man, which I mean I am, but if I knew Mike Tyson was fighting Jake Paul in 2 rounds, if somebody told me you have 2 rounds, who do you think's gonna win? I'm gonna say Mike Tyson. Now, what I'm thinking is either one, Jake Paul's gonna be running around for 2 rounds, tiring him out, or
which,
2,
which is easily.
this is gonna be a fixed fight.
I think it's gonna be a fixed fight.
But if it's fixed,
But at the same
Jake Paul's
time,
not losing if it's fixed.
right?
He
That's
has
what
too
I'm
much
saying.
money. He's
But at
not,
the same time, I can't see Mike, because here's what I think: if Mike Tyson loses this fight, I think it damages his legacy.
of course, you don't think that is.
You
a
know what I'm
fact.
saying?
That's a
Like, you
fact.
can- you
Oscar
can
De La
say-
Hoya said it.
You can say Mike Tyson beat all these guys, which he did, and the memories I've had, not making it, anybody making it through 2 rounds,
Yeah.
everything, biting Holyfield's ear, all this. I mean, this is stuff you remember Mike Tyson. If he loses to Jake Paul,
He's gonna be remembered
this
for
is
that.
going to be
almost.
what he's remembered for.
Almost.
Now, what I'm
Not
saying
really,
is
but-
he's Mike Tyson's a smart businessman.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not dumb. Will he really give him the chance to do this to ruin his legacy, or is he, you know what I mean, or is he that confident he's gonna win? Because I've seen his training videos, and I don't think
they're intense.
there's
Yeah,
people
man.
out there that can box him for 2 rounds.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Our age, you know what I mean?
No, I don't think so. But
I mean, he wrecked Roy Jones Jr. when he fought him. He wrecked him
mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
when they did the celebrity match or whatever. People were scared for Roy Jones Jr. when he fought Mike Tyson.
yeah, for sure.
So, but you're saying that could be fixed, right? And I think that could be fixed, but do you think it could be fixed where maybe the way that we're not thinking that Jake Paulson's going to get knocked out like straight? Like, do you think he's going to
see,
take a
again,
shot?
I
If he
don't
gets
think
knocked
he's
out,
going to
it's
do
not
that
gonna
to
be on
himself because
purpose.
he's the biggest shit
Yeah,
talker.
it's not
there
going to be
is.
on purpose. He's too cocky.
Another thing I think could happen is it comes down to like some bullshit draw.
Oh my god!
I don't think they could go to 12 rounds.
No,
man.
no,
You
it's-
think
it's
like
not
that?
a 12-round fight.
It's
It's
2
a
rounds.
And it's on
two-round fight.
Netflix.
Oh, this isn't even a fight. The 2 rounds.
Well, what are you
I didn't
talking
know
about?
that.
You gonna
Oh my
stand in a ring with Mike Tyson?
No,
for 2
I know,
rounds?
but I mean,
and tell me it's not a
it's
fight.
gonna go. It's probably gonna go to the cards. Or
That's
whatever.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a draw?
That's
Because
kind of the only
for
chance
what,
he has.
and then what are they going to
Jake
say?
Paul.
Oh, all these fans are disappointed. It was on Netflix.
Damn.
Yeah,
2 rounds?
exactly.
You know what I
Everyone
mean?
has, like, Netflix.
You didn't
Yeah, you
lose
pay
any money.
$8. You could.
But again, I mean, Netflix is smart because how many subscribers are they going to get?
Probably a million.
So many.
A million. I
You
would.
know
I would
what I mean?
assume a million. 1
No,
million.
it's
And
gonna be
once you
more.
get just
Yeah.
the flavor of Netflix for these people never did, they're going to be like, wow, this is pretty good. They're
Yeah.
probably going to keep it anyway.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Speaking of fixed games, I just recently saw something because the sports betting is bigger than it's ever been right now.
Right,
Yeah.
Because of the influencers advertising it and the fact that you can do it on your phone.
Right,
They make
everything.
it so accessible. There was recently a college game because obviously it's much harder to fix the NBA games. You might be able to get a referee on your side or
Yeah.
maybe a player.
Oh, it's
But when it
happened
come-
plenty of times.
But when it comes to college games, not so well-known players, not so well-known teams. So there was a recent college game, you can look this up, where they were a huge favorite or something like that. And at the right before the game started, people just started laying millions of dollars on this game. This is the type of game where nobody would really bet often.
Right.
And right before the game started,
That's crazy.
they just put millions and millions
crazy.
into this
Do you
game.
know what game
and
it was?
Yeah, we could look it up now.
Was it
I mean,
recent?
this just happened.
Wow.
And now, so people put millions, multi-millions of dollars in the game, which was extreme. And then, of course, the team that was the favorite lost by 30. And then they went on to show clips from the game where it was just obvious. This guy,
Really?
the guy's going for a layup. The guy's right next to him, doesn't even try to block it.
Wow.
And it's like, okay, we're at the day and age now where sports is obviously being fixed. Even
Oh, yes.
even to the NBA, that
I mean,
referee that came out a while back.
And the NFL, they even say in the NFL, like this whole, I mean, I watch the NFL like religiously.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm a Giants fan, but
Yeah.
I mean, we won 2 Super Bowls.
we
Yeah,
did
that
in
was
the
at
past.
least.
But this past week wasn't good for the
And you're a
Giants
Mets
either.
No,
fan.
because
The
Barkley went
Mets
to
is-
the,
To the Eagles,
I
for
know.
God's sake.
I know.
You know what I mean? All right, guys. Well, that's going to conclude the show for today. This is our first show, like I said. Many to come. We're going to, every 2 weeks, we'll have a new episode, at least for right now. So this is Arkham Asylum. My name's Marco. The address here is 2550 South Nova Road in Daytona Beach, Florida. We welcome you guys anytime. Great deals. You can find us on Facebook, Arkham Asylum Comics, and on Instagram. And with that, we'll see you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel.